I am just a couple minutes early. I'll take care of just a few things, and then we'll catch up. Although it hasn't been that long since we've chatted. I'm making a credit card payment. I don't use credit card often. Let's see. This is actually my Amazon card, and I don't really use it, but I'm paying it down. So just a second. I try not to be distracted during the live streams too much. Let's see. So actually, I don't think I'll be able to do this right now. I'll have to do it later. So, all right, guys. I'm back. And I've been thinking about YouTube channels. And, you know, a lot of the big names, and I don't even know the big names on YouTube. I did know one, who was it? Someone pointed out to me, Mr. Beast, is that his name? That he was the most followers on YouTube or something like that. And then he's supposed to be a nice guy, done a whole lot of charity work, completely awesome. But for me, those aren't the channels that I go to. I go to the people that I consider the true creative backbone of YouTube, which is all of you. In my opinion, it's the smaller channels, only in comparison to all those other huge channels. But, again, it's those smaller channels that really make up the backbone of YouTube. Without them, without you, I don't know. Would there be YouTube? Would there be such a thing? So that's how important you guys are. So don't think that you don't make a difference, because you certainly do. So I'm heading on to our friend, the 420 Network, Stoner Bob. Just going on one of his live streams, kind of have him up and running, and give him some watch hours. He was very early, well, not very early, extremely helpful. When I first started thinking about watch hours, he stepped up and really helped me. So I always try to return the favor. And I definitely always try to return the favor for each and every one of you in any way that I can. I also think of the conversation, thinking of Um, let's see.
Look!
Sorry. There's a video that just came up, vidIQ, which I don't subscribe to, so I don't know why it popped up. But it says horrible YouTube advice that's killing small channels. And that might be something to work on. And it's about how many times should you upload a day, which is here's some of the bad advice that he is saying. Um, bad advice, bad advice tip: you must post every day. Um, bad advice 2. Again, this is from vidIQ. I think I'm going to subscribe to him. Replicate successful YouTubers. I like that advice. I like his advice that is bad advice. Replicate successful YouTubers. Certainly helps to, have a plan drawn out, I guess, to some extent. But the people who became early success in YouTube were the ones that really were um, breaking the mold to begin with, and they sort of did their own thing. They made up the plans as they went along. Now, you probably could um, follow those plans and do pretty well. But I like the thought of not replicating successful YouTubers and becoming a success on your own. By on your own, I don't mean without the help of others. There is no alone when it comes to success. Um, Medic says, first, welcome, Medic. Thanks for stopping by. I don't believe there's any set upload requirement. Yeah, I've heard advice both ways. Don't post too often. And then I heard others people say post when you're got a smaller audience, post a lot because it'll grab attention. It'll sort of, the more you put out there, the more the algorithms will catch up. Our friend Laradox is here, says hi. Goldie says hi there, lovely people. Medic says I have a ton of certificates from Rob Wilson, vidIQ. That's who I'm looking at right now for how I run my channel. He popped up randomly. I don't know why. I think I'm going to subscribe. Bad advice tip number 3, do a lot of research. Bad advice tip 4, focus on CEO. I'm happy to see that I've actually have not been doing any of that bad advice. I've been sort of making my own way. And I've stumbled upon the help of wonderful people, such as UK Medic and Goldie, and such as our friend Laradox here. Let's see. We got some people saying hi. Goldie says Eric visited our friend Empress. Well, thank you for that. She's off to a great start. I think that the Empress of the New Earth is going to have a wonderful channel because she's just she's a source of creativity, a font. I don't get to use the word font often, but everything she does just has this wonderful touch to it. And she is much like, she fits in perfectly with you guys because she just wants to be of service to people. Cody says, but her comment sections are turned off. Yeah, I noticed that. I know on some of the shorts you can comment. I think she's still a little tentative. I think it helps getting comments. I think I saw somewhere along the line, the more comments you get, the more attention it gets. Laradox wants to know if Medic is subscribed to him. He's sub to your YouTube channel. Laradox says, if you aren't, please press my wrench and please subscribe. Medic says, if you don't comment on a video, I would not be aware. Yeah, that's always helpful. It helps the channel. Comment on the video. Man, it makes people feel good knowing that that you've come not just to get a subscription, but you're there, you're engaged, you're wishing them success, and then almost always the favor is returned. And you can certainly let him know, Naradox, that you came to the UK through here, and that way, I'm sure he's going to recognize your name now, but just to be sure. Medic says that he's tired as always. I'm a bit sleepy myself, actually. So, Medic, do you think the vidIQ, he has some good stuff? Goldie says I'm going to work 6 days in a row. I'll be exhausted next Monday. Wow, yes, it's a long work week. Medic says you need to watch for 3 minutes plus hit all notifications and leave a comment is a rule of thumb, which is a good rule of thumb to go by. And Medic says Rob Wilson gives good advice. All right, so I just subscribed. I'm looking forward to this one. I really like the thought of, he had me with bad advice tip 1, replicate successful YouTubers. I just love the thought of being creatively making your own way. As I mentioned before, there's a difference between creatively making your own way and making it on your own. No one makes it on their own because, hey, you need viewers, you need subscribers, you need watch hours, you need a support system. Without that, you're certainly not going to make it. And without that, you're certainly alone. But I do like the thought of making it your own way, because it gives me hope. I mentioned before, I have no idea if what I want is possible. But you know what? You don't know until you give it a try. Medic says, thumbnails to videos are really important, as that's what attracts the views. Yeah, I need to understand thumbnails better. I pretty much have left it, for the most part, have left it up to whatever pops up. Unless, like from one of my workout videos, if it catches me in a really awkward position, no one needs to see that. I don't need to see that. If that happens, I'll go ahead and change it. I need to get better with putting descriptions in as well. Even I think if it's just a few words, I think adding a description is good. So surprisingly to me, hey, our friend Jacob is here. Speaking of channels to go visit, Jacob is putting in the hard work, he's putting in the reps, and he's got a positive message to everyone. Definitely go visit Jacob. We got some burpees, and he's got some running. And again, he's got an inspiring message. Medic says, if you look at my thumbnails as an example, they show exactly what the video contains. So how do you do a thumbnail, though? Is, for me, I just see the options. And I know I can thumbnail from my computer, but I don't know if it's fitting. I got lots of photos of flowers and trees and squirrels. So that's why, with my burpee videos, I generally rely upon whatever it is that YouTube has selected. All right. Goldie very kindly dropped Jacob's link. Thank you, Goldie. Jacob says, hey, Goldie, and thank you, Eric. Thank you, my friend. I began the talk this evening for me, talking about the smaller, I'm going to use my air quotes, YouTube channels that, really, it's those channels that are the heart and soul of YouTube. They make up the vast majority. Of course, it's those massive channels that get all the attention and all the money. And hey, well deserved. Those guys put in the work too. They didn't get it by accident. But it's the people like Jacob, shows up every day, gets in the reps, puts out an inspiring message, and he doesn't have to do that at all, but he does. And somebody will stumble across one of his videos. They'll be wondering if they should start working out. Maybe they'll do a search and say, what kind of workout can I do at home? Whatever. And they come across his channel and they decide to commit to that. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any more successful than that. Goldie says, beat me to it. Medic, well done. Oh, thank you for that, Medic. Medic says, I create my thumbnails in PowerPoint and then save as a JPEG. So you said three things I know absolutely nothing about. Thumbnails, which you're giving me great information on. PowerPoint, which I've only heard Mocha talk about and never in a positive way. Being in the military, I think she was PowerPointed to death. And then JPEG, I have no idea what that is. Goldie says, please upgrade. I can do that. I think. Hold on. I think the only way I could do it There we go. Squirrel Sniper's back. Squirrel Sniper, how are you? Greetings, Eric, again. Greetings again, Eric in chat. Theradox says, I'm sad because I feel so fat. Good news, Theradox. You're young. It doesn't take long to get fit. Talk to our friend, Jason Colby. Watch some of his videos. Same with It Is What It Is. Brian Lane. All of those guys have great channels devoted to fitness. basically through our friend Duncan Walsh. Hey, Duncan is a master trainer, professional athlete. He knows, and all of it can be done at home. You don't even need to join a gym. 20 minutes, a couple times a week. But I can certainly understand that. No one enjoys not feeling comfortable or at home in their body. Medic says, upgrade to what? You know what? It's a good question. Does it get any higher than being a UK medic? That's top of the food chain. Jacob says, you do too, brother. I see you putting in that work too. I appreciate it. Thank you. Kind of you to say. I try. Been doing it for a long time. I don't know, honestly, I don't know any other way. I wouldn't feel like if I wasn't moving every day. Squirrel Sniper says, Laradox, feeling is an emotion that you will always overcome. Great advice from Squirrel Sniper. Great advice from Goldie. Laradox, don't be sad. Make a decision to work out. Go on a diet and keep up with it. Excellent advice. Here's another. Good afternoon, Eric in chat. We were just talking about you. Our friend Laradox is feeling sad because he feels fat, not in very good shape. And I mentioned Jacob's channel, and I can't talk about getting in shape and burpees without mentioning the champ himself, Mr. Five Pump. It is what it is. Goldie says, UK Medic, just check out the link to drop the UK Medic. You will understand. Goldie says that Medic can help you drop links when I'm not able to. Thank you for that suggestion. Very much appreciated. And Goldie says, but in vertical streaming, he needs to have the managing mod. Okay, so managing mod is the top of the line. I should make sure that our friend Destiny has that as well. Medic says he does not want to be a managing mod. Oops, I'm sorry. I can reverse that if you would not like to be. Of course, you don't need to exercise that. Cody says, Medic, your link sent me to your channel, so I saw the intent and thought you would like to. Lewis says, fat, and Cody says, that's what Laradox is saying. Yep. It's fixable. And you know what? Here's the important thing is that when you get a sense that you're unhappy with how you feel, you're unhappy with your body, that's also an opportunity. So emotions, sadness, any emotion, it's telling you something. It's giving you a message. And the question is, what are you willing to do? We had a great talk with Joe Delaney, and definitely check out her channel. If you see someone who made a commitment to turn her life around, and man, did she ever. And as she mentioned, her and I talked, I think it was yesterday, getting to the why of things, knowing why you want to be in shape, knowing why you want to eat better, knowing why you no longer want to be or feel or do the things that you're doing right now. The why is all important. It is what it is, says, oh, Laradox. Don't you worry, I got something that can change your life. Boy, do burpees. That'll do it. it's a one-shot movement. You can do it for 20 minutes, however often a week that you want. You can add on by adding in pumps, adding push-ups. You can throw in a squat. You can throw in jumping jacks. You could run in place. Watch It Is What It Is his channel. Watch Jacob's channel. Watch our good friend Kay Renee's channel. Kay is here. Hello, Kay. Squirrel Sniper says it's just tone in the making. Yes. Medic says totally lost now. I only dropped Jacob's link. I say the word and I will change everything back. Kay says, Yogi, hello there. Kay, how are you? Kay is another one to join on the fitness journey, Paradox. As well, you get to visit a beautiful garden. Kay says hello to everyone in the chat. Making sure I'm not too far behind. Jacob says, believe in yourself, Paradox. You can do it. I believe in you. We're in this together. Yes, we are. It's what live streams are all about. Gordy says yes, and instead of taking me to Jacob's channel, it took me to yours. Gordy says because of vertical streaming. I'm hearing good things about it. I'm hearing bad things about it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how I got it. It just showed up one day and everyone said, wow, you're doing vertical streaming. And my thoughts were, I guess so. Medic says, regard thumbnails, I'll do a private StreamYard and walk you through it. It's really easy. Okay. I have to confess, what is really easy to some throws me for a loop. Very often throws me for a loop. I'm afraid I might have simplified my life so much that I've become fairly simplified myself. Medic says, trust me, I'm a good teacher. I trust you implicitly. It's myself that I have, it's myself and technology that I have some doubts about. Whenever I say the word simplify, I can't help but think about the letter that Thoreau sent to Emerson, urging him to simplify his life. And he very enthusiastically said, simplify, simplify, simplify. And Emerson wrote him back and said, I believe one simplify would have sufficed. So even in our simplifying, we can actually simplify even further. I've mentioned before, that is really my goal. My YouTube channel ties in with it. Everything I do is for the sake of simplifying my life. As our friend Destiny Forever Walks likes to say, the yogic lifestyle. And for me, I love saying just a quiet life of yoga. That I absolutely love my life, guys. From waking up so early in the morning and everything's laid out. Everything's regimented. And yet not a single thing feels regimented. Everything I do feels so spontaneous and joyful. that I get to get up and do my breath work. Do my breath work means, man, I get to breathe. How much more joyful can that be? I get to take a deep breath, several deep breaths, in a very specific way that wakes me up, gives me energy, rejuvenates my body. And then I get to meditate, which means that I get to um, enter this very, very quiet, holy place that's found within me. And when it happens, I realize there's no within me that doesn't include the without. As goes, our friend Squirrel Sniper mentioned this the other day, as go the micro, goes the macro. And then I get to do my yoga, I get to drink coffee and write, I get to get out in nature, I get to come here and have a great conversation with friends. Medic says, word of the day, edification. I'm just happy that I said it. UK Medic says, quote of the day, you can never have enough Erics. You know what? I'm going to agree. When one of those Erics happens to be our friend Eric Lapointe, that's for sure. I think I'm negotiable. This has been some great YouTube information. I don't know, because for me, when I'm on YouTube, aside from looking up you guys, people that I follow, I see the people that I subscribe to, and the occasional, I guess, algorithm pick, or I'm searching for something of someone that that I want to research or whatever. So I don't think I ever really paid attention to thumbnails, although it was often talked about when I was beginning my channel. So I do know the importance of it. British builders working in Germany used to refer to Germans as Erics. Hey, I didn't know that. Did they spell it with a K? Isn't that more of the Germanic? Oddly, growing up, I never knew another Eric until I think it might have been high school. We were a rare breed back then. Nowadays, man, you can't throw a rock without hitting an Eric somewhere. Medic says I don't think it was meant as a compliment. Probably not. So Medic, you have any thoughts on how many times a day people should post? I know you mentioned at the beginning there's no, set time or no set amount. What I normally do is, and not for any specific reason, I just like doing it 2 shorts, and I go live twice, and I have my workout. But I need to start doing more smaller content, and maybe just a short little video talking about the things that I love to talk about, meditation, breath work, things along those lines. Medic says I've only met one person with my name. Well, yeah, I mean, not every parent is going to name their kid UK Medic. And when you think about it, um, it's almost like, predestined that you would become a medic from the UK. Our friend Eric Lapointe is here. I was just talking about Eric Lapointe. We were talking about Eric's in general. Kay says, that would be great, Yogi. Thank you. Medic says, just upload as and when I feel. That's what I've been doing. I think if you live stream daily, video uploads are less important. Okay, I appreciate hearing that. I've definitely become more of a live streamer in shorts. I've really grown to like the live streams and the interaction. And I'll be honest, it felt pretty easy when I started. Every talk felt inspired. It gets harder as you make more friends. Not harder, but you learn how to navigate, I think. And I'm still learning that. So my goal is always, my aspirations is to always have a channel where, as Goldie's mentioned before, where people feel safe and they can share things. And for me, that means a channel that emphasizes peace above all else. So I need to make sure that I emphasize that and emphasize that and emphasize that. Our friend Night Watcher is here. Night Watcher says he's tired. I bet. Man, it's late. Well, it's actually early. Eric says he got distracted with Noble. Easy to do. Night Watcher says, and for some reason, Flower is so active. Wow, man, you guys are hardcore. I'm taking speaking of sleep, this is melatonin, and ashwagandha, which I am told by Mocha, I consistently mispronounce, but it's an Ayurvedic herb. That helps you relax, and it works very well. I'm going to talk about sleep hygiene soon, but I want to wait until our friend Brian Lane is here, who, because of his job, he's had some difficulties falling asleep, as lots of people do, as I did. I've mentioned before, being blindsided by panic attacks and anxiety, what for me felt out of the blue. I've had a long affair with low-level depression since my teens, probably even before. And my mother had more severe depression, not diagnosed until later in life, actually. But the panic attacks and the anxiety, and I completely missed it, not knowing what was going on, because of the fact that I teach meditation, stress reduction, and breath work. So I thought I was immune. How could I be suffering from anxiety? I do everything right. And yet and I almost didn't want to talk about it for a long time, because of that. People would think, well, what kind of meditation teacher are you? You can't even for your own self. But what I realized was no one is immune. No one is immune from any emotional issue. And the fact that I had gone through some, I guess what could be viewed as certain dramatic events, losing my business with COVID, purposely so, because I had a small training business. I couldn't bring people over to my house. I was not going to take any risk having my father um, become effect, become infected. My vow as a caregiver at that time was um, my father was in his early 90s. He had some health issues. He had congestive heart failure, but it was progressing slowly at the time. That yes, he might indeed pass away, and it might be sometime soon, but it wasn't going to be from COVID, and he wasn't going to be isolated in a hospital. That as his caregiver, he was going to be as comfortable and safe as I could possibly make it. And I just didn't realize the emotional toll that was taking on me. But my body knew it. Even as I might not have realized it, my body knew it. And it was responding, and I was having panic attacks. Every time I lay down to go to sleep, I would be exhausted. And then it was like a bolt of electricity went through my body, and I couldn't lie there. I had to get up, and I paced the entire night very quietly so I wouldn't wake up my father. Night Watcher says I might go to sleep soon. Um, yeah, 4 a.m. I would say so. Night Watcher says if I'm told to do something I um, suck at it, I'm not told I'm a genius at it. I'm not sure I understand that. Might need to elaborate on that a bit. Um, so, yeah, I had to totally reevaluate and revamp everything I did, um, especially sleep-wise. Um, and everything from the moment I wake up is sleep hygiene. That's how important sleep and recovery is. And it becomes a really joyful practice. Everything I do supports everything else that I do. It's a very seamless way. My waking is in preparation for my sleeping is in preparation for my waking. Medic says, everything I do, I'm awesome at, because if not, I don't do it. I like to think that I have a life of adequacy. I'm pretty adequate at lots and lots of stuff. Night Watcher says, I'm feeling school, and I'm kind of good at drawing, according to my friends. So I'm told to learn, and I'm not told to draw. Okay, I understand that. Um, and it's understandable. I don't like it, but it's understandable because your family and your teachers are all concerned. You need a proper education to be able to navigate through life as an adult. Everyone is well meaning. But you know what? If you're failing school, you can't put the blame entirely on you. Um, because obviously there is the way that you are being taught isn't effective for your modality of learning. And in this day and age, there shouldn't be any cookie cutter modality of learning. We should be able to have some flexibility with each teacher. Uh, you're good at drawing because you're autistic. If you have a teacher who appreciates your artistic talent, they can find a way to incorporate that. Nope, artistic, not autistic, not with an R, ART. But you know, we talked about the ADHD, and it can be, it can definitely be a challenge, but it's also a gift. That's for sure. You just need to learn to utilize it as a gift. You're good at being aware. You're not so great at attention. Awareness is spacious. That's what made people with ADHD in primitive times such great hunters. They were aware of everything around them. Um, but if you were just so focused on one thing, then if you were focused on hunting a mastodon so that everything else was blocked out, you might not see the saber-toothed tiger that was behind you. Um, so you had to be aware. Um, I do sometimes hyperfocus as a common thing of ADHD. Yeah, Mocha was talking about that the other day. Which means that you can focus. If you can hyper-focus on something, you can focus. You just need to learn how. And you might need to focus, wander, focus, wander. That's the true art of meditation. When I teach mantra meditation, and people will often say, people will almost always say, I can't get my mind to be still. I'm always having thoughts. My mind always wanders. I'm never going to be able to meditate. And the answer is because that's what the mind does. You're not using the mind to clear the mind. You don't even need to clear the mind. You need to return and return and return. So you sit, you take a few breaths, you relax, and you think your mantra. And you think your mantra. And then your mind wanders. And then in Tibetan Buddhism, they call it Shepna, where you're hooked. You're hooked on a thought. And the next thing you know, you're thinking of um, what they say in Taoism, the 10,000 things, all the little things in life. Your mind just wanders. And then you remember, oh, wait, I'm meditating. And you come back to the mantra. That's how meditation works. You're not stilling the mind. You can't make the mind still, but you can fall beneath the thought by using the mantra, which literally means mind vehicle. Like what you says, it's not really intentional. Erica Point says, yes, not everyone is built for a classroom. That was me, but I love to learn just in a different environment. Excellently said, and I am much the same. I had a less than stellar scholastic career, having actually dropped out of high school and got my GED early. I did pretty good when I went to community college, um, although obviously not grammatically, um, because I got to focus on the things that I really enjoyed. And even when I had to take the classes that didn't pertain to my subjects of interest, I knew that they were necessary, so I was able to focus on them, knowing it would keep me going. Like what you says, like maybe, like right now, hyper-focusing right now, I'm not able to sleep. Hey, do you remember the breath work I gave you? Breath work, it says I like learning math, but I can't grasp it. I was in the same boat as you with that. I love the concept of math, but the practice of math. I love the fact that we live in a mathematical universe. Um, but yeah, the practice of it, it's beyond me. I've probably learned division hundreds of times. I still don't have a good grasp on it. I definitely can understand. I have been there. I had some subjects that I excelled in, and others I couldn't get. And if I did learn it, very frustrating for my parents. Both were teachers. Both had extremely high expectations for me. Older brother and sister who both did very well in school. But I was lost and I was left behind. And I was also not so much bullied, but definitely mocked. So there are ways for you to learn. There's ways to teach. And I hope the right teacher comes along for you. I hope your parents act as an advocate for you and say, hey, I have a talented, smart, intelligent son who has a learning, for lack of a better word, disability. A different way, I like the way Eric put it, a different way of learning. And we need help to find the right way for him to address it. And Bangladesh tradition is really bad. It is often normal for parents to hit the kids because they didn't get in the top 5 spots in the class. Well, Night Watcher says, I'm not smart, talented, or intelligent. You know what I would suggest? I see how smart you are in conversation, and I've seen your talent on your page. What you're thinking is because you can't do things right now that other people are telling you you should be able to do, that you're not smart or talented or intelligent. That's not you. That's other people saying that, and you're believing it. And you're probably saying it to yourself. Actually, you just did say it to yourself. But what if you told yourself a different story? What if you asked yourself, is that true? So you say you're not smart. Is that true? Has there ever been a time in your entire life that you've done something smart? Ever? How about if you thought of yourself as smart, talented, and intelligent, and I need a little help right now? I've seen you do smart things. Change your internal dialogue and ask for help. Night Watcher says, what do you need? What do I need? Oh, I don't know. I think my needs are pretty well met. I think with a little bit of help, everything would turn around in an instant. You said that I just asked for something? Not that I'm aware of. What did I ask for? Or how did I ask? I was talking about I wasn't saying I need help. I was saying that you just need to ask for help. Ask your teachers, hey, look, I'm having trouble. I can't learn this way. Goldie says, so what's up? Why are only 3 people watching? That's a good question. I don't know. Medic says, I see 4. I see 5. People come and go. I'm appreciative when they're here. That's for sure. Hey, Night Watcher. I would absolutely love to teach you meditation and breath work. I think you'd find it extremely helpful. It would enhance your creativity and your drawing, and I think it would help in school. And it's easier than you think. Everyone who says, I can't meditate because my mind wanders, miss the entire point of meditation. Your mind is supposed to wander, and then you just bring it back. Doesn't matter how many times. If you only brought your mind back to the mantra or the breath or your body once in an entire meditation, it would be a completely successful meditation. Sorry, my cat is tapping me. Night Watcher says I could go for a Coke. Oh, wait, it's 4 a.m. Yeah, you don't want to make it any more difficult to go to sleep. Hey, I mentioned 1 or 2 days ago a breath work to help you go to sleep, where you breathe through the nose, you exhale through the nose. Breathe in for count of 4, not 4 seconds, your own count. Breathing in for 4. There's a very slight pause, just a natural pause. You're not forcing it. And then you exhale through your nose for a count of 8. So you breathe in for 4. You breathe out for 8. 10 rounds. 1 round is an inhalation and an exhalation. Try to do that. And you can do it more than 10 rounds if you want. And see if that helps you relax. One thing, it also helps you focus. The breath is always present. So it's always something that you can come back to. It never strays. And you can change your physiology and your emotional state in an instant by watching how you breathe. When people are overly excited, overly stimulated, when they're in that sympathetic nervous state, they're breathing often through the mouth, they're breathing high in the chest, shallow breaths. If you just tune in, how am I breathing? You can slow things down and you can start breathing through the nose. You can make sure that you're breathing from the diaphragm, that your belly is expanding and it's falling, expanding and falling. Night Watcher says it's also a problem. Everything in my life feel shard, like sleeping on time, showering, and just staying clean and self-preservation is very hard for me. Understandable. Goldie says I've been lurking. I appreciate you being here. It's understandable, Night Watcher, but it's a routine. Sleep is a habit. It's natural, but if we fall out of that pattern, if we've messed up our circadian rhythm, it just doesn't come easy for us anymore. Once you reestablish that, everything starts getting easier. But it's got to be a priority, and you need help making that a priority. Medic says, I just step into the garden and instantly relax. Yeah, we've talked about that. It's instant meditation. It does all the work for you. Just being in nature. That I'm going to get Eric Lapointe excited here for a second. The fractal patterns of nature our eyes instantly pick them out and respond to them, and stress is reduced by 60%. So that's a great point, by the way. Um, Night Watcher, do you get any chance to spend time in nature? And nature is where you find it. Nature can be, it could be a backyard garden, it could be a tree, it could be just a little lot where you could take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass. Erica Point says, yes, as a kid, I swear you need 10 hours because you're still growing, and most of your growing happens when you're sleeping. Uh, Ask any gym rat. This is true. Erica Point says, medic only if everything is already planted for him. That's an excellent point. Medic says, well, fortunately, Eric, our garden is a lake, our natural garden, apart from a few plants. Yeah, I'm really lucky that my neighborhood is basically a little suburban park. Almost every one of the shorts that I post are within a half-mile radius of my house. Let's see, Nightwatcher says, nope, I live in the middle of, you had me pronounce that once, Dhaka City, the capital of Bangladesh. It's a concrete jungle. But they don't have parks or anywhere. Trees, one tree. One tree is nature. Also, I mentioned quite a bit, getting sunlight first thing in the morning, having your eyes meet the sun, natural sunlight, and how important that is for reestablishing the circadian rhythm. Sunlight, nature, even small doses, that is enough to change your life. It's enough to heal. We have a couple of palm trees and like 2 mango trees. Hey, that's enough. That is enough. Go out and spend some time. Talk to our friend Destiny Forever Walks, PhD. Trees are the best. Become a tree hugger. Put your hands in the tree. Talk to the tree. Listen to the tree. Feel the vibrational pattern of the tree and allow the fractal patterns just to wash over you. I am being 100% sincere. I think our friend Eric Lapointe will back me up on this. You heard UK Medic says when he's stressed, he simply goes out in his garden. You don't need the garden. That's what UK Medic has. You have a palm tree and some mango trees. Goldie has talked about how much joy the garden and her behind her complex has brought her. Eric Lapointe says he's jealous. I love mangoes. I love mangoes too. As does Mocha. So, no doubt, not gonna lie, not gonna try to offer fake comfort. There's some difficulties in your situation, Night Watcher. Difficulties don't mean they can't be overcome. Doesn't mean they can't get better. Challenges don't mean that you're stuck in a challenging situation. Medic says, my wife says she goes wherever her man goes. I would not have thought of that pun. Night Watcher says mangoes are very common here. They're very expensive here. So some of the good news, Night Watcher, is you are aware of situations that you need to overcome. Now you just need to convince yourself that you're capable of overcoming them. It might not be easy. It might be. Some things are easier than we think. So, Night Watcher is gonna go to sleep. Good. Hey, try that breath before you go to sleep. 10 breaths. Breathe in for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 8. 10 rounds. If you want to get fancy, you breathe in for a count of 4. You use what's called the Vishnu Mudra. You seal off the right side and you exhale through the left side. Longer exhalations, one, they lower the heart rate. It also puts you in further into the parasympathetic nervous state. So, well, get some sleep, get some rest, and take care of yourself. The left nostril corresponds to the parasympathetic nervous state. There's a blow test that you can use to see where you are right now. Not 100% reliable. Sometimes, allergies are going to block up one side. But if you 3 little and see where the air is most dominant. If it's on the right, then that means you're primarily right now into the sympathetic nervous state, which is okay because you're awake, you're active, you're doing something, you're engaged in the world. You need to be a little bit into that parasympathetic, just a little bit. What happens is that we're chronically there. We don't have that downtime, and we're actually a downtime species. We weren't always on red alert, being scared. We weren't always, it's the same with deer. Deer are alert, but they're not always in that hypertensive mode. So we need to retrain ourselves to enter back into that parasympathetic state. And we do that first. We got to realize where we are, and then we take the steps to reverse it by lengthening the exhalation or doing some primarily left side nasal breathing. First prayer in Islam started. Have a good night, my friend. I think we might call it an early night as well. I hope that maybe we helped our young friend. And I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to do my own little sleep hygiene, which I mentioned before, is breathing. And I'll do some japa beads, mala beads. And I do what I consider sacred reading or holy reading, where whatever book calls for my attention is, you don't want to read anything that over stimulates the mind. I don't want to read fiction when I go to bed. It's a reason they call them page turners. I want to be easing into that relaxed state. As well, I want to be very careful with what I take into my subconscious mind. So, it might be the Bhagavad Gita, it might be the Upanishads or the Dhammapada, it might be the Bible. It is whatever holy text is calling for me. and just a little bit of reading. Take those words with me into the subconscious, and then I always wake up very joyfully. Eric Point says, well, another great chat. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you being here. Night Watcher and Goldie and Medic. Squirrel Sniper was here. Laradox. Our friend Jacob. Always appreciates it when he makes it, as well as it is what it is. Make sure I didn't miss anyone. I don't believe so. So thanks, guys. I'll see everyone tomorrow, and have a good